Welcome back to Women Think Bigger. Today we're going to talk about some truth and myths around pricing because at any stage of our business, we often have this question or whether my prices are right, whether I'm charging the right amount for what it's worth, etc., etc. So if you ever felt confused about your prices or unsure whether you were charging the right amount for your offers, then this episode is definitely for you. So first of all, there are so many myths about pricing that it creates a lot of confusion, unnecessary self-doubt, and just a lack of clarity in general. And we were taught to look at pricing as a strategy or formula or simply something purely logical, when actually pricing is deeply energetic. It's relational. It evolves as you evolve. And most importantly, it also reflects how rooted you are in your worth and the value you bring to the world. So first, let's start uncovering some of the myths that shape the way most people think about pricing. The first one, lower prices mean more volume. We've all been there. We've all assumed that at some point, if we made our offer slightly cheaper, more people could buy because more people could afford it. When in reality, people buy something when they feel connected to the energy of the product. They feel the energy behind it. You can have a 20 euro or dollar offer that doesn't sell, and you can have on the other side a 200 offer that constantly sells out. Because sometimes higher prices feel more potent if they're well communicated, they have a different type of energy. So at the end of the day, lowering your prices is never going to guarantee a high demand. This can only be done through alignment. The second one is thinking that higher prices take away too much from the client. And this comes from a fear that somehow if we charge too much, it can be harming for the other person or it can be selfish. And when it comes to higher prices, let's say a client has paid $1,000 for your program, for the value and the transformation, it's likely that the program really changed their life because they invested with so much intention, which much more intention that they had invested in a $20 or euro program. So higher prices ultimately give the client a higher level of expansion, clarity, and commitment. So you have to remember that in this case of charging a higher price for a transformational program, your task is going to be to really provide the value, but you're not going to be responsible to see if the client has implemented all the exercises well. So it doesn't mean like higher price, more commitment from you. It means the same level of commitment, and then the client is responsible for their own transformation. The third myth is thinking that pricing only means that you are receiving, when actually the client is receiving just as much as you are. We often forget that the clients are getting value, guidance, personal expansion. They're not just giving money away. So for example, a person that is paying you for a 3 months mentorship, they're not just giving you money. They're also receiving a space where they're held, where they're listened to, where they're heard, where they're supported in their growth. So they are receiving as much as you are receiving. It's just that they're receiving guidance and you're receiving money. The fourth thing is thinking that pricing is just a number when it's actually an energetic exchange. So you can have two exact offers with a different pricing, but depending on the energy of the person that is selling them to you, it's going to resonate really differently. Maybe one program is going to feel more safe because of the price, but maybe the other one with higher prices is going to feel more expensive because the energy of the person that created this program, it's way more magnetic and aligned to you. And so it lands differently in your body, no matter if the price is higher. So it really has to do a lot with the energy and not just about the number. And the fifth one that I see a lot is thinking that prices should stay fixed because then we lack credibility if we change them too often, so they don't need to evolve too much. And this really doesn't make sense if you think from the evolution standpoint of when you create a business. If we, for example, launched a course 2 years ago, it's likely that you've grown, that you've learned even more, that you've evolved. So it's normal that your pricing reflect that level of clarity and presence that you can offer as well. If you have grown as a person, if the systems have grown, if the results have grown, it's normal that your pricing evolves with you. So now let's talk about what really works in pricing and give you practical guidance to really be comfortable with your prices. The first thing you have to remember is, as an entrepreneur, the pricing that you offer is not the one that you receive, because as entrepreneurs, we have taxes to pay. And if we ignore this in the process, it can only lead to resentment later, because sometimes the taxes, depending on where you're based, can be really high. So It's really a big difference from the price that the client is going to see and the one that you're actually receiving in your business. So don't make this mistake of forgetting about taxes and fees, because you don't want to be 50% down the price down the line because you forgot about all these practical aspects. The second thing is you hold the energy of the pricing. So no matter about the number and how high the number is, you have to hold the energy because the clients will feel it. If you're capable to say your prices without shrinking, without doubting, without your voice going down, then the clients are going to be confident to pay no matter what the price is, obviously, if it feels aligned with them. You're not going to be finding yourself in situations where you have to over explain yourself, and you're just going to lead from this place of magnetism and radiance. The third thing is it is absolutely okay for the prices to evolve as you stand more in your truth. Your prices really can and should grow with the level of embodiment and identity and self-worth that you're cultivating. So the first time you create a new offer, it's okay if it has a certain price, but if then you experience that the transformation of the clients is higher, you're able to be more rooted in your truth, it's absolutely okay if the price goes up a little bit, because this is a reflection of your expertise and your energetic alignments, and the clients will feel it. What would be wrong is just having our prices evolve because we have systems that are costing us more without having done the work of the energetic embodiment. That would create an imbalance. So it's not about how much it's costing you, it's more about how you're able to hold the energy and calibrate to the level of pricing that you're charging. The fourth one is really considering not just what it costs you to create the offer, but what it costs you to maintain it. So, for example, let's say you have a membership, the price should also reflect the value that you're going to put behind answering the questions, doing the maintenance, holding the energy of the membership. So, it's not just about the energetics of the creation, it's also about the energetics of how you hold the energy if it needs like more guidance and support on the long term. The fifth one is that letting people responding differently to your prices, it's a way to honor them. So what I mean by that, it's some clients buy fast, others need more time. Others cannot afford financially to pay in one single payment. So every effort that you're going to make to adjust your prices to the clients that you're targeting is going to be a way to honor them. So the thing you need to remember is people buy in different emotional timelines. Again, some people buy fast, some take a little bit more time, and some are going to require payment plans that can support their investment when they're actually are not able to pay full price. And I think all of them deserve that space. So it's your job to honor your clients, at least the ones that you can target, considering that factor in your pricing is really important. Another thing that is really important that should really be a foundation of how you look at pricing is that your emotional relationship with pricing should be nurtured and even healed if needed. Because pricing is not just pricing. Pricing often triggers sometimes childhood wounds or fear of being rejected, fear of being too much, fear of not being enough. All the emotional heaviness that we might have felt in the past needs to be healed in order to make clear, aligned business decisions. So, for example, if you've been raised and told that it was not good to ask for too much, then when you raise your prices in your business, it might trigger these old stories, and you're not going to be able to make a decision from a clear mind. It's going to be just polluted by old stories. So healing your and nurturing your relationship with pricing on the long term is really, really important. And something that I often say is actually when people are questioning the prices, they're not questioning the number. They're questioning the disconnect between the number and the energy. That's usually where people can be a little bit triggered, is you not owning the energy means that for them the price is not matching, so they're not going to feel safe buying. So let's say you charge 1,000 or 5,000 for a program, but then when you show up, you look uncertain, you doubt yourself, you're not really unapologetic. People are going to feel the disconnect, and that's where the rejection with the initial pricing is going to come from. So it's not just about the number, it's about the disconnect that they might feel with the energy that you're currently offering them and that they're receiving. So basically, to wrap up, I want you to look at pricing not as just one single action, but more as a process, as a conversation between you, your work, and your energy. And it's essentially a 3-step process. The first one is going to be assessing, as we said, the time, the effort, the systems that go into the offer that you create. The second thing is going to be considering again, who is this offer or product built for? What are the type of clients that you want to attract? And then seeing if the pricing or the payment plans, for example, need adjustment. And the third one, which is I think is the most important, is learning to hold the energy that you're charging for. And you do that by really being rooted in your worth, in your value, and the transformation that you bring to people so that you can really hold that frequency entirely. So again, pricing is never just about the numbers. It's an ongoing relationship between your worth, your work, and the people that you are here to serve. So the more you build clarity around the emotional side of your offers, the easier it's going to be to set the pricing. And this is a way to build a business that feels expansive and energizing instead of draining and just restricting. Your pricing is always the reflection of how deeply you honor your gifts, your wisdom. So it's normal as well that it evolves with time. It's going to move with you. It's going to grow with you, and that's okay. So I hope this episode was your permission slip to understand that it's okay to adjust, to evolve, and to choose the pricing that feels aligned with who you want to become in your business. Because your work has a lot of value, and the more you can honor that, the more it's going to be reflected in your pricing and the more the business can support you back. So let me know how this resonated. And obviously, if you want more content, more knowledge on those topics, you're always welcome to check the links below for courses and more offers. And I wish you an amazing day and hope to see you very soon.